Hello and good evening. This is Inside Foreign Affairs with Kamran Yousaf. Tonight, a major diplomatic development is unfolding, one that could shape the future of the Middle East. Pakistan is set to host what may become the decisive round of talks between Iran and the United States. Diplomatic sources confirm that delegations from Tehran and Washington have agreed in principle to travel to Islamabad very soon. This comes after a series of critical confidence-building measures taken by both sides on Friday, steps that have revived hopes for a possible agreement after weeks of uncertainty. To understand where things stand, we need to go back just a few days. The first round of talks between Iran and the United States held in Islamabad failed to produce a breakthrough. At that point, there was a genuine concern that the entire process could collapse. It was at this stage Pakistan stepped in more actively. Instead of making public claims or announcements, Islamabad chose a quiet diplomatic approach, engaging both Tehran and Washington behind the scenes. This phase involved intense back-channel diplomacy with continuous communication aimed at keeping the process alive. Pakistan's role as a mediator was not universally accepted at the start. Even within the policy circles, there were doubts. Questions were raised about whether Islamabad had the leverage and credibility to bridge decades of mistrust between Iran and the United States, and more importantly, whether it could help prevent a possible military escalation. But Pakistan adopted a calibrated strategy. The first major success was securing a 2-week ceasefire. That ceasefire created space for diplomacy to continue, and space for both sides to reassess their positions. Following that, Islamabad hosted a rare face-to-face meeting between Iranian and the US officials. While that meeting did not resolve key differences, it was still a significant step forward. According to diplomatic sources, the real breakthrough came after that meeting. At a time when the process was hanging in balance, Pakistan intensified its efforts. In a key development, Chief of Army Staff and Chief of Defense Forces Field Marshal Sayyid Asim Munir traveled to Tehran. During this visit, he held meetings with the Iranian leadership, including President Dr. Masoud Pezeshkian, Speaker Mohammad Baghir Khalibaf, Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, and senior military officials. These discussions focused on regional security, ongoing diplomatic efforts, and ways to ensure sustainable peace. Officials described this visit as consequential, one that helped remove major obstacles that had stalled process. Following this engagement, there were immediate developments. A ceasefire in Lebanon was announced. Iran also took a key step by reopening the Strait of Hormuz, allowing limited passage of oil tankers and commercial ships. These actions were widely seen as confidence-building measures aimed at sustaining the diplomatic process. However, the situation remains fluid. Iran has since indicated that restrictions could be reimposed, citing what it calls repeated breaches of trust by the United States. Iranian officials have accused Washington of continuing a naval blockade of Iranian ports, describing it as unlawful. In response, Iran's military has said that control of the Strait of Hormuz remains under strict supervision and that unrestricted passage will depend on the removal of the blockade. On the other side, US President Donald Trump has made it clear that the blockade will remain in place until a comprehensive agreement is reached. So how did Pakistan manage to bring both sides back to the table? Analysts point to several factors. Pakistan maintains close ties with Iran. At the same time, it has a working relationship with the current administration. But beyond that, Pakistan's position as a nuclear power, its strong military, and its deep understanding of regional security dynamics have played a key role. Unlike traditional mediators such as Oman or Qatar, Pakistan has been able to factor in broader strategic considerations, ranging from proxy conflicts to regional alliances. Its defense ties with countries like Saudi Arabia also add to its strategic weight. Using these factors, Pakistan conveyed a clear message to Tehran that the current window for a deal is strategic opportunity and that delays could complicate the situation further. At the same time, Islamabad remained engaged with Washington, urging restraint and emphasizing the need to avoid actions that could derail the process. As things stand, momentum has been restored, but the situation remains delicate. There is optimism in some quarters, especially after signals that President Donald Trump may be willing to travel to Islamabad if a deal is finalized.
I would go to Pakistan, yeah. Pakistan has been great. They've been so good. Islamabad, I might go, yeah. If the deal is signed in Islamabad, I might go. The field marshal has been great. The prime minister has been really great in Pakistan. So I might go. They want me.
But diplomats are cautious. They emphasize that negotiations are complex and far more complete. There is agreement on some issues, but several contentious points are still under discussion. This is a step-by-step process requiring sustained engagement and trust building between two sides with a long history of hostility. There are also clear risks. Domestic political pressures in both Iran and the United States could influence decision-making. There is also possibility of external spoilers, actors who may not want to see a deal go through, and developments on the ground such as tensions in maritime routes or regional conflicts could quickly change the situation. The issue of the Strait of Hormuz remains particularly sensitive given its importance for global energy supplies. Any escalation there could have wider implications beyond the region. From Pakistan's perspective, the objective has been clear: to facilitate dialogue, to promote de-escalation, and to create conditions for a negotiated settlement. The recent visit by Field Marshal Sayyid Asim Munir to Iran reflects this approach. According to official statements, Pakistan has emphasized the need for dialogue, restraint, and peaceful resolution of disputes. Islamabad has also reaffirmed its commitment to regional stability and long-term peace. The coming days will be critical. If the next round of talks in Islamabad takes place as expected, it could determine whether the current momentum will break through or whether differences once again stall the process. For now, Pakistan's diplomatic effort has kept the process alive. But as one diplomat put it, a deal is only done when it is done. For more analysis, Michael Kugelman will be joining us after the break, so stay with us.